Alrighty, we're going to work on some elbow rotation training, so you can follow along with me, or you can just watch for educational purposes or entertainment. So take an elbow, and our elbows are made to rotate. This is pronation, this is supination. Now, for what we're going to do today, I want you to focus on using these muscles around your elbow, maybe even in the upper arm, to create that rotation, and we're going to try not to use the hand and wrist too much. So can you relax the hand and wrist and get rotation? Okay, that's what we want. We want to create the rotation, feel these tissues around here, making that elbow rotate. If it's hard with a relaxed wrist, you can also make a fist and keep this really tense, but try not to move it except for as a product of the elbow moving. Okay, so I'm not going to like move my hand and fingers and turn that wrist. I'm just trying to rotate and rotate. Okay, our elbows can rotate at a bunch of different positions. It's good to practice those as well. But for today, we're going to work on improving specifically pronation and supination. So one thing I like to do, you can grab a dumbbell, a little stick, or a large stick, and practice some of this rotation. And what's nice about a stick or something that is kind of long-ish that you can hold on to is you can get a visual of the angle of your rotation. So my supination here is about there. My pronation is about there. Now notice as I go further, I'm using my wrist and hand to get here. So I want to keep a nice tight grip and not let that grip change at all. If I'm keeping the grip exactly the same, then most of that movement should be coming from the elbow and not the hand and wrist. All right, you can practice with the other side as well, so that way you can compare. And you'll notice some differences, either on your own elbows or on mine. I get more supination here with my right. I get more pronation as well. I'm a lefty, so I need to work on that, right? My throwing arm should have better elbow rotation. So to strengthen this, you can use a stick of sorts. We're going to start with supination. I like to grip right here, and we're going to try to use these muscles to rotate and turn. Once I hit about my end, I'm going to put this hand here. Okay? While that's there, I'm going to try to use this elbow to do this, but I'm not going to let it move. Okay? So I'm here. This is called a Pales contraction. I'm going to not let this move, and because of the leverage with this stick, I don't have to work too hard with this hand. Okay? So I'm going to start to create force. I'm really using here. I'm really trying to use this. I'm consciously contracting here to try to rotate the stick into this hand. All right, but it's not moving. That's what I want. I'm going to build up to my max effort without pain, and then I'm just going to relax, see if I can encourage a little more rotation, but again, not coming from the hand and wrist. So I want to feel like there's movement going on here in the forearm, in the elbow. Okay? If you get comfortable with that, feels pretty good, you can add in what's called a rails contraction, in which after you do the push in, you try to actively rotate further into this stretch, into this movement. Okay, so we can try that out if you're following along. So I'm going to start with the Pales contraction, driving, trying to rotate this way. Boom. Can I turn the stick? No, I cannot. But I'm trying. I'm building up that tension. I'm focusing on all the tissues around my elbow and forearm, but not my wrist. Then I'm going to use those muscles to try to rotate and pull this stick away. Woo! And relax. So that is a great way to increase the range of motion at your wrist. Okay, you can do the same exact thing with pronation. So I would start here, I would push, trying to push this way, and then I would try to rotate this way. All right, so I just wanted to show you that, give you some ideas. For throwing, especially a Frisbee, supination is very, very important. Pronation is not important. We still want to improve rotation overall, but supination is going to generally be more important. So then I like to reinforce that with some elbow cars. So flex, rotate, extend, rotate. So we're trying to go through the entire range of motion at this elbow. and then you can reverse it. So now I'm going to pull up, rotate, extend. Notice my shoulder isn't moving. It's just that elbow. All right, great way to reinforce elbow health, mobility, and reinforce the work that we did here for the supination. Another thing I like to do then is with either a dumbbell or a stick, focus on rotating through the outermost range of motion here. And you can even add in, as long as it doesn't hurt, some momentum. Okay, so I can add in some momentum and try to stop it. Try to stop it. Try to stop it and go back the other way. So I'm going to feel these muscles working. This is going to get into the hand and wrist, but that's okay. All right, because now we've primed that elbow to do most of the work. The hand and wrist are going to hang on, but this ability to rotate quickly, to manage momentum, is very important, especially through big ranges of motion. All right, so this is an awesome way to improve your range of motion in a way that will hopefully help with your ability to throw and keep your elbow healthy with lots of volume of throwing and lifting.